Hello spectators, today we are going to learn how to resolve completing notes. This is lesson 1. We will be having another lesson very soon. So let's start with some of the basic techniques and basic points I discussed previously. Just a review first, and then we would directly go to resolve something, a question paper today. So the question types, as you know, that there are quite a few types of questions, around 10 types of questions you will find, but you can see the box here: summary, notes, flowchart, or table completion. We're going to just address this right today. So as I mentioned before, the DJ strategies: before you read, you have to do something; during reading, you have to do something, and you have to remember some points. But we're not going to discuss this today. However, these 3 points are important. Pick the right keywords from the questions, and then go back to the text, scan and mark the keywords, and then write question numbers on your left or right just to track down. Again, you use ascending order on your right. Remember, you can see in number 3 I mentioned. And the second thing is that do not waste time for one question. Just skip as necessary. Now, choosing the right keywords, I mentioned before in my previous video, but just a quick snap today. Most reliable keywords are always names of persons, places, things, etc., numbers, percentages, but not 50% or 100%, because 50% can be replaced with half and 100% can be replaced with all. Capitalized words, abbreviations, processes like photosynthesis or whatever, and any heading of your question in a question bank, you can have a good heading, and that can be found in the text directly. And some words are given in italics. That is also your good keywords. So I'm not going to just discuss all of this, just a quick snap today, because we'll be doing practical solution to a question paper. But ascending order is something you need to know before we move to that. As you know that for one specific group of questions, answers are given accordingly, sequentially. So sequentially means if you get the first answer on a particular place in the text, the second is next, third is next. So sequentially, that is called ascending order. I discussed this before. So as you can see in here, first is number 1, then second, then third. But if you do not get, for example, answers of question number 2, what you have to do, you have to skip to third. So once you get 1 and 3, in between there will be number 2. Let's just see an example. As you can see here, question number 1 is found here. For example, this is just an example, it's not the real answers here. And then second here, third here, fourth here, fifth here. Now you can say, hey, why 6 is there? Because 1 to 5 is in one group of questions. For example, yes, no, not given is 1 to 5, and then 6 is for, say, filling the blanks. Now this particular group would be given in ascending order, and then again the next group, the first question, is your challenge. You have to find out where the answer of the first question lies. So once you get your first answer here, then second, third, fourth, all will be coming sequentially. So that is called ascending order. Now we have some specific strategies to know. Just before we go to the question paper, let's have a look. Keywords to spot the answer. You have to find out keywords from the text to spot the answer, but you have to apply ascending order as well. And second is grammatical rules are very important. You have to figure out whether you have articles, conjunctions, or prepositions, or you have to use parallelism in some cases, word orders as well. I'll discuss this in a minute. And then you have to copy the exact word or words from the text. You cannot just modify the word. If you find a word, for example, water, you cannot say watering, or you cannot say watered. You cannot just change the tense or form of the word. Okay. Second is forward and backward technique, which is very important to know. I'll discuss this in a minute. And once you write your answer in any blank, read the whole sentence and try to figure out whether it makes a clear sense. So it's now practice time. We'll go back to practice now, and then we will come back to this slide once again. Now, for the sake of practicing, we have two papers in front of us today. One is the actual question paper, which I have taken from Cambridge IELTS 14, and because the questions are just after the text, as you know, it comes after the text, it is a bit harder to just go forward and backward. So what I did is I presented this in a way that is easier to follow. So your questions are on your right and your answers will be found in the text on your left. I think it is bigger enough to just understand. So see what we have to do first, because this is filling the blanks or completing notes. You don't need to read anything, your heading or subheading or blah blah blah, nothing. What you have to do is first you go to the question. Alexander Henderson, see Alexander Henderson is the heading here. So this heading and that heading doesn't make any difference. So you have to figure out early life. Was born in Scotland in 1831. Okay, see a keyword can be Scotland and in 1831. And father was a, what was his father's profession? So taking this knowledge in mind, Scotland in 1831, let's start quickly. We found Scotland in 1831 here. Now, was the son of a successful merchant. So I got the answer, merchant. Now what I have to do, I have to take a tool for writing. As I mentioned before, if you do not note down or keep track, you will lose your track later on, and then you will fumble to find out other answers. So this is question number 9. I'm writing 9 here. At the same time, I'm writing here merchant. Good. So once I write merchant, I'll have to take the second keyword from where? From the question paper. See how I'm doing? I'm just taking a keyword from number 10. But see, from number 9 to 10, a lot of water under the bridge, meaning 1855 is gone, 1866 is gone, then took photos of city life is gone, landscape photography is gone, then people bought Henderson's photos. So our first clue is we have to figure out 1866, 1855 and 1831. So after 1866, we'll find out whether people bought his photography, and people bought Henderson's photos because photography took up considerable time and something was heavy. So we have to find out first 1866, I'm sorry, 1849 I got here, 55 here, 87 here, 86 here. No, I'll not read this because just this is 1865, but we need to go 1866. Let's check if there is any 1866. Yeah, we got that 1866 here. Now we have to figure out what was our other keywords, photos of city life and landscape photography, and then considerable time and something was heavy. That was our keywords. That was in the previous page though. So city life is found here, and then blah blah blah. Let's see about time, people bought photographs, etc., because here landscape photography, considerable time and heavy. So landscape photography, yes, it got landscape here, and then next time there was sufficient demand. Yes, demand. When you say demand, it means that people bought a lot of photos. Why? These types of scenes and others he took depicting the lumber trade, blah 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 blah. Okay, there was little competing hobby, blah blah blah, before late 1880s because the time, blah blah blah. Okay, so we got time. You see, we got time. here considerable time and something was heavy, and so it says the time consuming techniques great involved and the weight of the equipment. We got our answer. See, and I told you that you have to look at some of the grammatical terms here. Article, conjunction here. See, conjunction, we need to look at conjunction. So meaning that we got and here in the question paper. So this and is the clue. Now, what was heavy? The equipment was heavy, because weight and heavy is the same word, synonym, right? So because they are synonyms, we cannot write weight again here. We have to write the equipment. So let's write equipment here. Okay, equipment, equipment, and at the same time here we have to write question number 10. Great. Now, if we come back to our next question, the photographs Henderson sold were something or souvenirs. So definitely souvenirs is one of your keywords. Let's check if there is any word called souvenirs. Great. So it got souvenirs in the very next line. So it says people wanted to buy photographs as souvenirs of a trip or as gifts and catering. So we're not going far away. Just see or here, and here you can see or as well. So these two ors are making sense just because before this or souvenirs is given and after this or gifts is given. Now I told you a technique called backward and forward technique, which is in the question paper there can be a blank before or after or, but answers may not be according to blank or souvenirs or something. See, souvenirs here are before or, but souvenirs here are just after or here. So this can be just shifted. So that is called backward or forward technique, meaning that in the same sentence you can find the first answer before the second answer, or second answer before the first answer, or second keyword before the first keyword, or first keyword before the second keyword. That is called forward backward technique. So because or is our clue as well, after or there is a word called gifts. So we have to write gifts. Let's write, gifts. Remember, you have to write the plural form, otherwise you are gone, because if you do not write the exact form, singular, plural, you're losing marks. So 11 is gone. Now number 12. We can see that there are other keywords here which are 1870s, 1880s, great, and then Eastern rivers. You know that in the keyword chapter I mentioned directions like east, west, north, south. These are all good keywords. Now if you go back where this time frame, we have to look at scene here. We can see the time is given here. Let's see if there is any other time in the middle. Time is given here, but this is exactly what is written here. So we have to figure out whether there is any eastern, western, blah blah blah, rivers, blah blah blah. Let's just check quickly. And yes, it got eastern rivers here. Now he was especially fond of the wilderness and often traveled by canoe on the Blanche. Now in here, if you see the article rule in here, I told you in the previous page that article is very important, because if you find a, after a you need to have a noun. If you find the, after the you need to have a noun. So similarly, if you go back here, so Eastern rivers, in the Eastern rivers he used something and he was in that something. So what is that in that something? You can find that traveled by canoe. So definitely the answer would be canoe. So let's write like this, C-A-N-O-E. Okay. Now, if we go to the next, so we have to write down here, I'm sorry, this is question number 12. So after this number 12, we have to again take keywords from here, and the keyword or words can be 1875, 1897, and then work for CPR. Definitely this is an abbreviation which is clearly a keyword, and 1885 photographed the something and railway at Rogers Pass. So you got 85 Rogers Pass and CPR. Try to figure, oh, CPR is found here, good, and this is 76 though, 1885, here you go, 1885. Now what is more easier to find railway as well, if there is any. Yes, we got railway here. Now if we read this sentence, in 1885 he went west along the Canadian Pacific Railway called CPR as far as Rogers Pass in British Columbia, where he took photographs. Yes, we got photographs here, photographs of the mountains and the progress of construction. See here, something and the railway. But wait, there's a big problem. He did not take photographs of railways, he just took photographs of construction. Now what is the construction about? If you go back, this is backward forward technique. Go back, this is Canadian Pacific Railway. So if you are working for a railway company and you're taking photographs of the construction, so what photographs are you taking? You're taking photographs of railway construction. So definitely this means railway construction is given here. So number 13 would be mountains. Why? Because and, this is conjunction rule, before and is mountains, after and is progress of construction of railway. So definitely we got railway, after that here railway at Rogers Pass, and we have to take the other word, which is definitely mountains. That's it, mountains. Now definitely you will do something else as well. 13, question number 13 will be written here to track down. So that is it. We got all our questions answered. Thank you. Now let's go back to our slide, and if you don't like it, just change it. But if you like this method, try to follow that and email us if you have any questions. Like us on Facebook, but do not expect a prompt reply. You can contact the UAG for online and Sydney-based lessons or any queries at all. Thank you very much, and you have a great time. Thank you. Bye.